Welcome to the lecture series in computer science. We are seeing a series of lectures in the subject Python programming. In today's session, we will be seeing a topic on classes. How are classes being used in the Python language? As the contents of the session are, we will be seeing how the class works in Python, and then we will be seeing how to define a class variable, and then we will be seeing a simple Python class, how it works, how it has been created, how it has been called, and then we will be discussing on the data hiding in Python class. Hope you would have learnt about data hiding encapsulation in a subject called C++. Similarly, how data hiding has been used in this Python and how it has been declared or how it has been stated as far as the Python language is concerned. We will be seeing that, and then we will be discussing about how to work with images, and then we will be seeing about two different classes. One is about the sprite class, other one is the spaceship. Now, as a first slide in this session, we will be seeing about how to create a class or what a class is. The class statement, it creates a new class definition. It creates a new class definition. The name of the class immediately follows the keyword class, which is followed by a colon. So, you are supposed to give the keyword as class, C is small, class, and you have the name of the class followed by a colon. A class is a template for creating objects. What is an object? Objects have member variables. Hope in your C++ language, which is said to be an object oriented language, unlike our Python programming language. I suppose you might be knowing Python programming language is also an object oriented language. It can be called in different ways. It is an interpreted language, it is an object oriented language, it is a scripting language. So, Python has various names, but C++ is said to be an object oriented language, wherein the objects you will be saying in C++ as objects or instances of a class. Similarly over here, and in objects they have member variables. Similarly over here in Python, the objects have member variables and have the behavior which is associated with them. The class has a documentation string and which can be accessed via class name dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. The class suite consists of all the component statements defining class members, data attributes, and functions. So, this is how we came to know about what a class is in Python. Now, let us see how to define the class variables. The class variables are the variables that are declared outside the initialization method, and that is the reason in Python when you are going to have a class, you are supposed to have a compulsory method called as init method underscore underscore init underscore underscore. It is a method. These are static elements, that is, they belong to the class rather than to the class instances. These class variables are shared by all instances of the class. For example, let us see an example. As I said, the class has to be given with a keyword called class, C is small, class, and the name of the class is to be my class. This is a variable name which I have kept, and after keeping this your name of the class, you are supposed to put a colon. When you give a colon, when you press and enter, it automatically indents. So, underscore underscore item equal to 123, underscore underscore item equal to ABC, which means this will be taken as a string and that is an integer. Define underscore underscore init underscore underscore self, it is mandatory. Put a colon, and then you have a group of statements. and that is the reason I have given it as you can write something, you can pass some values, right. Now let us see how to write simple Python class. We will take an example of the employee. You might be aware or you would have seen such examples when you have learnt a subject called Oracle or database management system, how to store the values in a table. We would have learnt about an employee table. So, we will see how to create a class for an employee. Now, class employee colon emp count is nothing but the employee count equal to 0. As I said, now you are defining the class, define underscore underscore init is nothing but initialization underscore underscore within braces self comma name and salary. What am I going to do in this class? I am going to load or store the name of an employee and his salary details. So, here I have given self as a method. So, self dot name equal to name, self dot salary equal to salary. My dear viewers, do not get confused with the age old language like C++. In C++, after writing this you will put a semicolon, whereas here there is no semicolon. That is the difference. I suppose you might be knowing in Python you do not use semicolons. So, self dot name equal to name, self dot salary equal to salary. Employee dot emp count, this emp count is nothing but this emp count. Employee dot emp count equal to employee dot emp count plus 1, which can be written as shorthand incrementer operator employee dot emp count plus equal to 1. So, what is the emp count as of now? It is 0. So, 0 plus 1 becomes 1. Now, I am trying to display. I am defining one other function for displaying. Define display count of self colon print total employee percentage, which is nothing but employee dot emp count comma employee dot emp count. Now, I am displaying the display employee self. How do I display? Print name close the quotes wherein which means this name will be printed comma self dot name. From where the value will be obtained? We can get the value from this self dot name comma open quotes. Okay, if you want you can have a comma, not an issue. Salary close the quotes comma self dot salary. From where will we get? You will get from this particular self dot salary. Now, we are able to get the total employee details added so far from the emp count, wherein we get as of now 1 because it was 0 earlier. So, 0 plus 1 becomes 1, then the name of the employee, self dot name, salary of the employee, self dot salary. So, this is a simple Python class. Now, let us see what it says. The variable emp count over here is a class variable whose value is shared among all the instances of this class. This can be accessed as employee dot emp count from inside the class or from outside the class. The first method, as I said, it is an initialization of the class. So, you are supposed to write like this underscore underscore init underscore underscore is a special method which is called a class constructor. My dear viewers, it is a very important interview point of a question as well as the examination point of a question. What is a class constructor? how it has been declared. So, underscore underscore init underscore underscore is a class constructor, or it is as well called as an initialization method that Python calls when the new instance of the class has been created. Class methods are declared like normal functions, with the exception that the first argument to each method is self, and that is the reason I said here this self is mandatory. This self is mandatory, and that is the reason even in our previous slide we had this self which is mandatory. Python adds the self argument to the list which is not included when the methods are being called. Now, let us see how to do data hiding, how to do encapsulation in a Python class, how it has been determined in Python programming. Double underscore, my dear viewers, kindly make a note of it. Double underscore is used before the attribute name to make them private, which means you cannot access from outside the function, or it has been used, it has been kept in order to hide that particular variable. So, that is called as in order to hide them. Let us see an example. Class, my class colon underscore underscore, there should not be any space between these two underscores, because you might claim, sir, in my earlier lectures you are saying like you need to give many different spaces, but when I have been asked to give two underscores, it should be continuous, there should not be any space. So, underscore underscore hidden variable, which is a variable name, equal to 0. This is this variable will be hidden variable, will be inaccessible, will be private, right. Now, I am defining, define add self comma increment colon indent self dot hidden variable plus equal to increment. Now, I wanted to increment it, print self underscore hidden variable, and I pass the arguments in the under this my object. My object, I create a variable called my object equal to my class. So, I call upon this my class. What will happen? I give my object dot add of 3. So, what will happen? 0 plus 3, initially it is 0, initially it is 0, now it is 3. So, here self dot hidden variable plus equal to increment. So, 0 plus 3 becomes 3, then my object dot add of 8. What will happen? Now, it has become 3, 3 plus 8 becomes 11. So, answer will be 3, 11. Then I am printing my object underscore hidden variable. Will it print? Definitely not. It will throw an exception error. You will get an error, exception error. What is the exception error? Why do we get? This code is wrong. Why? Why it is wrong? Why do we get an exception error? Because it cannot be accessed outside the function. Here this print, I was able to print this 3, I was able to print the 11 from this particular print function, print, but I cannot print this line. That is the specialty of data hiding. When you try to execute, you get a traceback error stating as attribute error. Attribute error will be an exception. Initially, I got the result as 3, then I added 8. So, I was able to get as 11, then I get an error, traceback error stating file, the location of the file in module, print my object dot underscore underscore hidden variable attribute error, because my instance has no attribute hidden variable. It will not be coming outside. The hidden variable, it was accessed outside the class using the object, and hence it threw an exception. Now, how do I correct it? We will see how to correct it. Class, my class, again I rewrite the program with a corrected statement. Class, my class, hidden variable equal to 12, define add self comma increment, self dot hidden variable plus equal to increment, print self dot hidden variable, my object equal to my class, my object equal to add of 3, my object dot add of 8. I am printing here as print my object dot underscore my class underscore hidden variable. So, what happens over here? Now it prints, because I am calling this class my class, whereas in my previous program I have not called my class over here. That is the reason I got a traceback error. When I am going to give a my class, when I want to call the particular print statement, I am supposed to call with the class name. So, my object underscore dot underscore my class, then when you call the variable, it will print the output as, initially the value is set to be 12, now I am adding 3. So, 12 plus 3 becomes 15, now I wish to add 8, 15 plus 8 becomes 23. So, all this 15, 23 will be printed by this particular print statement, and then this particular print statement again it prints 23. That is the reason 23 is repeated twice. Hope you could understand. 15, 23, 23. So, this is how you access the hidden variable. Then the next topic is how to work with images. In the last or in the earlier sessions, we had seen a topic on event driven programming, wherein we were able to capture certain image and we were able to work it out. How to work with images using a library called as Pillow. Pillow is a library, and my dear viewers, this Pillow library, it is a default library of Python for image processing. There are many default libraries and this Pillow is one among them, but it is a most prominent library in Python programming. It is available from version more than 3.6. Pillow is an updated version of the Python image library, and in short it is called as PIL, and it supports a range of simple and advanced image manipulation functionalities. But this Pillow, it has to be installed before using Python Pillow image library. My dear viewers, many people have a wrong notion, thinking that if they have installed the Python, if they have downloaded the Python software and if they have installed in the system, they think that they get all the libraries, they think that they are able to access all the modules, which is not the case. Whatever you require, you are supposed to install them separately after you install this particular Python software. Okay, sir, how do I install a particular module after installing my Python software? When you are going to install a Python software, you are supposed to give a path and then you are supposed to install it. After installing Python software, in the command prompt, how do I go to the command prompt? Go to run in your screen and then give it as, go to run, type as cmd, type over here, this is the command prompt. Now you type in as pip3 pip3 install the name of the module or the library, Pillow. PIP3 install Pillow. So what happens over here is that as the, if you want I will write it in a bigger way, you are supposed to install from the command prompt. The reason I went back is to show you the command prompt, where because few people might think how do I access the command prompt. Go to run, type in a cmd or command cmd, you get a command prompt, and in the base directory you type it as pip pip3 install Pillow. This will install Pillow. If I want to have game programming, which we will be seeing in the forthcoming session, if I want to have a game programming, I need to have a module called as Pygame, and Pygame is not installed by default. So how do I do it? Similarly, I do it as pip3 install Pygame. Why I state this over here is, when you are going to work with images, definitely you will work with game programming, and this Python is more of, nowadays it is more into game programming too. So for that you are supposed to have this Pygame. This Pillow is for the images. Now let us see what are the other image processing libraries that are available in Python. You have OpenCV. What is OpenCV? The image processing library which mainly focuses on the real time computer vision, open computer vision, with an application in wide range of areas like the 2-dimensional and the 3-dimensional feature toolkits, facial recognition and gestures. And for information, many of my students, they have done a project on for automatic attendance monitoring using facial detection. In the entire class, from a camera click, the entire set of students can be accessed. It is not required for people to take attendance and waste their time. They can concentrate on their lectures. So those features are possible using this image processing library called as OpenCV. And not only for this facial and gesture recognition, it is as well used for the human computer interaction HCI, and it is as well used for the mobile robotics and object identification. How do I identify the objects? Then the other prominent libraries, image processing libraries used in Python are the NumPy and SciPy libraries. This NumPy and SciPy libraries are also used for image manipulation and processing, wherein you can draw charts. You can draw certain charts. And my dear viewers, for having this NumPy, again you are supposed to have pip3 install NumPy. You can as well have pip install NumPy. This 3 determines that I have used, I am using a software which is greater than 3 pointers version. That is the reason I have given it as 3. If you are not giving 3 also it will work, but you are supposed to give it as pip install NumPy. Where will you give? In the command prompt. Then what are the other image processing libraries? You have this SciKit, SCIKIT. It provides huge number of algorithms for image processing, built-in algorithms for image processing. You have a PIL, that is Pillow, Python imaging library to perform the basic operations on images like create, thumbnails, you can resize, you can rotate the image and can convert between different file formats, but all the images have to be stored in the current working directory. My dear viewers, after this session when you are going to practice, do not claim that sir I am not able to access the image. It might be because you would have stored the image in a different directory and you would have started working. If it is, it will work fine one and only if it has been stored in the current working directory. Now, let us see how to load and how to display the image. First of all, what should I do? I need to import the image, and how do you open it? Im equal to image dot open. I am taking an image called as Taj Mahal dot jpg. Where is this image lying? It lies in my current working directory. So, after I could take this image Taj Mahal dot jpeg, the format is most important, jpeg. I am trying to rotate the Taj Mahal image, the whatever image I have taken, I am trying to rotate it by 45 degrees and I am showing the output. So, im dot rotate of 45 dot show. If I am going to do so, if I am going to write this, I get a image output at 45 degrees. This is, I suppose, 45 degrees. I suppose many people would have studied it in mathematics. This is 45 degrees angle. So, I get an image at 45 degrees. So, this is how I call an image, I rotate the image and I show it. Now, my dear viewers, if I want to convert this image into a grayscale, how do I do it? Here it is. I call an image called Taj Mahal.jpg. So, I just name the variable name as Taj Mahal underscore gray, which is equal to, as I have said earlier, image dot open Taj Mahal.jpg dot convert of L. What does this L determine? L determines the luminosity, which means you will get the Taj Mahal in gray color. Okay, sir. If I am going to give like this, will it get displayed in gray color? Definitely not. You are supposed to use show. Taj Mahal underscore gray is the name of the variable dot show. When you are going to give the show only, you will get this Taj Mahal image in grayscale. Now, next concept is about sprite class. What is a sprite? A sprite is a 2D image or animation that overlay on top of the game to add visual complexity. Most realistic gaming systems have a sprite class structure which is built into built, and in games the sprites are used to add visual complexity to a game. Now, what else is sprite is? Sprites are first developed in the late 1970s and 1980s, and they just simply correspond the 2D images, two-dimensional images, and it could translate around inside a particular display. It is used for gaming programming, it is used for shooting programming. Sprite sheets, what does it consist of? It consists of a collection of 2D images that consist of a collection of sprites organized as a single image. Now, let us see a sample sprite code. You have the screen equal to, screen is a variable name, equal to pygame dot display dot set mode width comma height, which will be in the same line. Pygame dot display dot set caption my game, wherein in my output in the caption is the title. I get the name of the image as my game. Clock equal to pygame dot time dot clock, and sprites I am giving all sprites. Now, this is the key code. Class player pygame dot sprite of sprite, define underscore underscore initialize underscore underscore self pygame dot sprite of sprite dot init of self, then self dot image equal to pygame dot surface will give you 50, 50 is nothing but the width and height. It will display the width and height of the screen in order to play the games. Then self dot image of fill green color, I am filling it in green color. Self dot rect equal to self dot image of get rectangle. For rectangle, what should I do? I need to have the all the values like the height and width. So, rectangle center how I am placing it, by width by 0, width by 2 and height by 2. Then I am updating it using self.rect.x equal to some value, and then I am giving it. Now, let us see the output of this particular program. So, this is the center, this is how I mark the centers, and this is the output. I have a rectangle, I suppose everyone could see a green rectangle, and it has been moving from this particular position, this particular position. You can even work it out, those output. Now, about the spaceship, in a spaceship scenario I will give it as an assignment. There is a spaceship and there is a missile and there are certain rocks. You are supposed to hit the rocks, and if the rock hits the spaceship crashes. So, the scenario is to fly a spaceship around the screen. Two methods to be kept. One is draw, and you need to update, then only you will get the output. The draw method simply draws a circle where the ship is currently located, and the ship should get rotated so that it faces correctly the rocks, and then the update method has to be written, and this method is used to modify and update the position of the game, the velocity and the angle of the ship. The task is to hit the rocks with the missiles available in the spaceship, and if the rock hits the spaceship, then the game ends. Acceleration and friction, it should be used appropriately. We will discuss a similar practical game programming in the next session. And to summarize the session, we have seen about how the classes works in Python, how the class variables are defined, what is a simple Python class, how data hiding is done using in a Python class, how to work with images, and we saw the Taj Mahal image tilting to 45 degrees, and then what is a sprite class, how it works, and I gave it as an assignment for the spaceship class. Thank you.